Here is an alternative way of determining whether an argument is valid or not valid. What we are going to do here, remember, an argument is valid if assuming both premises are true forces the conclusion to be true as well. So what we want to know is if the first premise and the second premise are both true, if both premises are true, then is the conclusion true? So what we're going to do is we are going to form an argument, a statement of the following type. If premise 1 and premise 2 are both true, then is the conclusion true? We're going to do a truth table for this statement. If our truth table shows us that the statement is always true, meaning it's a tautology, then the argument is valid. However, if this statement turns out to not be a tautology, then our statement is not valid. So let's go ahead and do the truth table. So since we have two variables, P and Q, we're going to have the usual 4 rows to our truth table. True, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. Now, our first premise is if P then Q. So we remember that the only time an if-then statement is false is when the if part is true and the then part is false. In all other cases, it is true. The second premise we already have a column for. That's the first column in the truth table. So we're now ready to do if P then Q ANDed with P. So here we're ANDing columns 1 and 3. And remember, in order for an AND statement to be true, the statements on each side of it must be true. And that's only the case in the first row. In rows 2, 3, and 4, we have at least one of the things being ANDed false. Now we're ready for the entire statement. So our last column is going to be if P then Q, ANDed with P. If all of that is true, then is Q true. In other words, if column 4, then column 2. Well, if true, then true is true. If false, then anything is true. When the if part is false, it automatically means that the if-then statement is true. So we see that our final column is all T's, meaning this is a tautology telling us that the argument is valid. If we had had so much as one F in that final column, then our answer would be not valid.